Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be going over a deck that is really free to play friendly. You don't need, you can have 4 of the GRs, you complete the entire deck as available as it is without having to open a single pack. And if you use your grade ups to your advantage, you can not only complete the deck, but you can do like I did and have 5 triple rare SPs and a SPPG. So if you save it up right, this event, it can be really friendly to you. So we're going over Victor today. Victor, I love this deck, but in the meta we're in right now, Victor has so little going for it, and I'll explain that in a minute. But let's start with the starter. The starter is Generation Break 1. When the unit in front of it stand this unit. Simple enough. Don't put this behind your Vanguard. I made this mistake in the TCG. I would put it behind the Vanguard because Victoplasma stands up, and it's a perfectly fine strategy if you want to try to do that. But because you run out of rear guards so much, your opponent's getting rid of your rear guards, and you're using the cards in your hand, Victoplasma is actually not that as good of a strat as I thought it would be, because you don't have as many cards in your hand to deal with, because your drive checks don't go to your hand. Simple as that. We're playing 4 of the stride fodder. Obviously, skill, discard any card, search your deck for the Victor, add it to your hand, and then when you go to stride, you can discard it as a grade 3. Simple. Every deck is getting one. No need to go over that. PG, copy of itself is in the damage zone, or is in the drop zone. Countercharge 1. All the decks are gonna be playing those. We just went over these with Gear Chronicle deck showcase. So I play, okay, Counterblast is really is not too short in this deck, so feel free to tweak around at the grade 1s. I play 2 Energy Charger, Soul Blast, 2 draw a card, because you don't do anything with the soul at all, and these go to the soul, so like you have more than enough soul to use the Energy Charger more than once probably. But I play it as a 2 of just because it's extra draw, and as I said, with decks like Gear Chronicle and Kagero getting rid of your rear guards a lot, you're gonna need it. Then I play 3 Clear Mechanic because there is a little bit of Counterblast in the deck, and if you do get everything perfectly, you're gonna run out of Counterblast. If you get everything perfectly and you're not playing, like if you're playing against Royal Paladin, you have a little bit more of an advantage. So there's that. So it's a really good card. At top of the PG, you get to countercharge a little bit of damage. Again, tweak around with this list a little bit. Maybe play the Final Wrench, grade 1. He can be really good, or like something maybe like Death Army guy that when you check a grade 3, you stand it. But with a lack of grade 3s, that might not be your best option. But since you're multi-attacking with Victoplasma and you're checking 4 cards instead of 3, maybe it's hard to say. I really like this list because the Claydol Mechanic comes in handy. He's a 7k and he happens to countercharge. You really don't need it much for more than that. Moving on though, we have 4 Cool Hank. Cool Hank skill is Generation Break 1 once per turn, so you have to be very careful when you use this. When it attacks the Vanguard, if it was boosted, Counterblast 1, stand one of your other rear guards and give it plus 3k. This deck scales with its attackers, which is good, and if you play your columns right, you can actually have this deck hit really high numbers and get over heal guards, which is good. I play 2 Arashid still, which is Generation Break 1 once per turn. So not only have to be on, you have to destroy it once. You only can activate it once per turn. He gains 5,000 power when he restands. Simple as that. So I play cards like Golden Anglet that get more power than this. When it stands during the battle phase, it gains plus 4,000 power. Not Generation Break 1, not once per turn, as many times. So one thing like I found that you can do is your opponent only has 1 interceptor. Attack that interceptor with your Golden Anglet. Attack the Vanguard with Cool Hank. Stand up Golden Anglet. Gains another 7,000, making it a 16k attacker. Swing with your Golden Anglet. Swing with your Vanguard. Use your Vanguard skills. Stand your Golden Anglet. And it becomes insane. Then for extra resources, because as I said, resources is a very short thing in the deck. I played 3 Transriser. That way you can push in for a little bit of early chip damage with it possibly. There's not a lot of whiffing that you can do. It really sucks to get a heal off of this, but it actually doesn't feel too bad to check the grade 0. And anything else, you can call it to a back row to save it for your attacking turn, or if you're calling out grade 1s or something, you can just have it in back row, and you don't risk losing cards in your hand, and it's just coincidental value on a body. And you don't really need more RSG because you want to be on Golden Anglet instead. Anyways, he's just, oh, look, I didn't draw my Golden Anglet. I have a almost functional it's not as good of a card as I thought it would be in this because it doesn't scale enough in some cases. So moving on, we do have for Extreme Battler Victor. His Generation Break 2 really doesn't come up often because kind of like you go for your Victo Plasma turn, and if you don't win on that turn, you kind of lose sometimes. It doesn't come up very often, but basically me too, when an attack hits a Vanguard, so it's kind of better off just stride anyways, because you have a stride that on hit does the same thing, and then you also get the stride skill to counterblast 1 when it hits. So the problem, you can craft the GR cards only with generic orbs, or you can craft them also with the clan materials. You can only use the generic orbs, but you can turn your clan materials into generic orbs. So if you've got a bunch of extra stuff, you can do that. And when you deconstruct SPs of the G series cards, you get generic orbs instead. Like if I deconstructed this, I'd get like 200. I think it's like 500. I don't remember. But so the crux of the problem with Nova Grappler is that you have to hit attack, and hitting attacks is so hard. You're multi-attacking and you're going for it, but if you don't hit an attack, your attack stop cold turkey right there, done. So GB2, when an attack hits, choose a unit, stand it, give it plus 3,000 power. When your G unit strides, give your Vanguard the ability that when its attack hits, counterblast 1 to stand up, give it plus 3,000, and then on the turn that it's placed on the Vanguard circle, gains plus 3,000. It's really hard to play this deck. I was super excited for it, and then it's all of this on attack hit. So your main strategy to restand and do your multi attacks that scale is Cool Hank. Cool Hank is the thing you need. Do not use your Cool Hanks too early. Anything else, sure, use it a little bit early, get some early chip damage in, fine. Cool Hank, don't use it until you're ready to, because it's really hard to get off multi-attackers because you have to hit. Now, my backup grade 3 is Yamatano Drake because, and it sucks because there's a high chance of whipping with this, but Yamatano Drake, because it's the same thing as Golden Anglet, when it stands during the battle phase, plus 4,000 power, huge amounts of scaling. I play it as a 2 of because 6 grade 3s is better than none, and then better than 5, in my opinion. And you really don't need that many crits in this deck. You're so short on resources that checking crits is nice for extra pressure. But if you're checking it and it keeps you from actually hitting the Vanguard and you can't multi-attack with it, it hurts. Because I'd rather multi-attack and push for 5 to push my opponent to 5 and then knock out a heal guard or knock out a PG out of their hand first than to check the PG at 4 damage and not be able to do any of it. So the crits are a little bit iffy. And of course, this crit is generic like the others. If you have a grade 3 or greater with Victor in its name, put it in its soul, draw a card, plus 5,000 power. Then if you check it and it's your opponent's turn, you draw a card. For Heal Guardians, 4 Victo Plasma and 4 of the on hit. So the on hit skill, we'll go over that first. It's going to be your first stride. On hit of a Vanguard, choose a unit, stand it, and give it plus 5,000. Give it plus 3,000 power. So same thing as the Victor skill for GB2. So 9 times out of 10, you'd rather just stride because you discard a random grade 3. You don't need probably an extra Victor or a stride fodder, and then you draw an extra card, and that card is 9 times out of 10 going to be a card better, like an energy charger that's going to get an extra card. There's a bunch of things. Any clan that can grade 0 kills from the start must wait for that clan to get support. Must get support. No, all clans get grade 0 heals first. But you don't get anything else. Like they get the Crayon strides they can use and the heals. Every clan gets the heals, which is why the meta is shaken up so much, because there's a couple of decks that maybe they don't search out PGs enough that became somewhat viable because they can deny rear guards against decks like Royals and Nova Grappler, and then they have heal guards to protect themselves more. So they ended up actually having a viable place in the meta to a point. Then you also have Victo Plasma, and this card I can't recall how many times we've seen so many people just hoping for a draw trigger. Just give me a draw trigger so that I can restand a Vic Plasma. Generation Break 2 once per turn. Counterblast 2. Flip a copy itself face up. It gets drive -1. So you only do twin drive every time you attack with it. But at the end of the, it gains the skill that at the end of the battle that it attack once per turn, discard 2 cards, restand this card. This, I can't recall the amount of times that it's been like, just give me a draw trigger so that I can use this card, and it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So it's a good finisher because it doesn't have to hit, and because you're attacked multiple times, you can use your Victor skill. You have one chance to use your Victor skill to counterblast one or restand something. But he has to attack a Vanguard. So you have to have cleared out your opponent's interceptors already. And one of my favorite strategies to do, by the way, is my opponent has double interceptors. Okay, I'm going to attack Golden Anglet, attack a Cool Hank, unboosted, then swing with my Vanguard after the stride. On hit, stand Golden Anglet, stand Cool Hank. Swing the Golden Anglet on its own, swing the Cool Hank boosted, use Cool Hank, stand the Golden Anglet. Actually a really viable strategy. Just remember to attack in the proper order and to be standing everything, it'd be fine. Again, it scales a little bit, but it doesn't scale over triggers. So if your opponent does get triggered, it does affect things, but you can still swing with the Golden Anglet, then swing with the Cool Hank, and you might not get any damage in that way, but you can use the Cool Hank, restand the Golden Anglet, and Golden Anglet will scale high enough to get over that trigger. So there's a couple loopholes you have to jump over if your opponent does get triggers, but they're not actually that bad. So that's the deck list. Let's go ahead and get into some games with it and kind of try to showcase off what it can do. I didn't put sleeves on this thing. Hold on. We're going to put the Kamui sleeves on here. I like these sleeves a little bit. All right, let's go fight. Which is kind of bad because this meta is not good for decks that are reliant on rear guards. Yes, this clan event is completely free, but if you're not wanting to play Victor later on when he gets other support, or you just really like the deck, if you're not wanting to play it, do everything in the clan event. Maximize the most you can get out of the clan event. Craft the GRs and then craft the SPGRs. Or craft all of the triple rares and then craft as many SP triple rares as possible. Deconstruct them all for the GR materials and use that to finish your other deck. Perfectly fine. So, sadly, I believe my Starvaders will have a problem with the grade 0 heals because Clan could get one girl as a heal, lady healer or something if I'm wrong quickly. Yes, they do. That is the one that they get. So this is a good hand. We're going to put those heals back. We're against another Nova Grappler, so it's basically whoever pops off properly first. That's going to be fun. Target Ride is actually a Claydol mechanic because, well, I want to have my extra draws for later on, and then I want to use my RS Sheet to gain other things. So here I'm going to ride my Claydol mechanic, and I'm going to move the grade 0 back here. Now, using Battle Riser is actually a perfectly viable option because if you don't get the on hit, you can still restand your things with the stand trigger that he gets. So we're going to call the RS Sheet because it's perfectly fine to go in for a little bit of chip damage early. And honestly, you getting rid of the energy charger. I need to have my other grade 2s in hand, so we're going to get rid of the energy charger. Battle and swing. There we go. Done. Crit trigger. Let's go. This might hurt if they check a trigger. This attack won't hit, and they've got 2 checks to check triggers. They don't, so we're just going to push them to 3 damage on turn 1. This is why crits are good. This is a perfect turn 1 for this deck, right? Let me move this over here. I'm like turning to look at it every time I'm talking. So this is a perfect turn 1, right? We've pushed them to 3 damage. They're using the 10k. They're using a lot of the budget stuff. Like, they're grade 2 items all over the place. Trigger. Okay, no trigger. That's fine. That's fine. Getting pushed to 2. We're going into turn 2 and we're up a damage, right? So really what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ride the Golden Anglet because anything can be a restander. We've still got like 5 targets in the deck to get drawn for a rechander. No Starvader, the name said no. Yeah, I mean, true because of Chaos, but you can't use it with Chaos Breaker. 12 and then I could do 9 and then 12, but then I don't get a grade Because we're up a damage, I'm gonna risk something a little bit. I'm gonna swing here because if I can get a crit here, I can push for more damage than if I don't. And I'm already up a damage. Okay, that's fine. So we don't push for that extra damage, and it's fine to do that a little bit because like you don't want your opponent having too much counter blast. No deleter name also, yeah, true. But once you start with messiahs, it's not gonna be as big of a deal. It's still a heal. A lot of decks will still play it for the fact that it's still a heal guard. So this person's not really doing anything this turn, and I'm gonna punish that next turn. 100%, I'm gonna punish that next turn. Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Never mind. I can't do that. I can't punish it next turn. Battle, swing. I don't have a grade 3 to discard, and I've just drawn all 4 of my heals. I was in a good spot at first, and now I'm not. This is fun. We're still pushing to 5, and we've got 5 defensive cards in hand, and I have discard for stride next turn, so not the worst spot to be in. And honestly, you don't want to go in for like kill turns too early. It'll just depend on what my trigger checks are. Yeah, they're gonna try to go in for game, but heal guard, like there's not enough scaling, so they're not gonna be able to finish the game this turn. This is the sad part of the deck is that like using this much, like sure I dealt all that extra early damage, but I don't really have any grade 3s, and my grade 2s were too important really to discard things. So you do know Cool Hank has to. Okay, so they healed down to 4. That sucks because still only with no heal triggers left in my deck. But I think honestly, you'd rather have your heal guards in your hand than okay. That's a draw trigger. I'll take that any day of the week. Give me. I want to. That basically is a draw trigger, but it's a crit trigger, but it draws me a card. Yep, energy charger actually is a good thing to draw there. Then this will attack, and I'll use a heal guard. Okay, so energy charger is actually really good here. And I'll explain that in a second. Stride, discarding a Cool Hank and any energy charger. Because I want to keep a Cool Hank, and I have a good chance that I'll draw into something that's useful. Because I've already gone through all of my grade 0s, so anything is an attacker. Golden Anklet, perfect. Perfect. Golden Anklet. Cool Hank. Now I have no crits. This is going to be interesting. Battle. Swing here. Swing here. Then I'm going to swing on the Vanguard. Again, we've got like maybe 2 draw triggers left in the deck, so I'm probably not going to get triggers here. Yeah, that's fine. This is fine because we're going to use this skill, stand up Golden Anklet, it becomes a 16k attacker. Using this skill, we stand up Cool Hank, then we swing here. No, wait. I misplayed. So the way this is supposed to go, you're supposed to swing with Golden Anklet, then you swing with the Cool Hank, then you stand up Golden Anklet, and you push for that either a PG or a heal guard. Oh, I screwed the pooch on that one. That was a misplay. So we would have gone for like a defense. Would have gone for a defensive check, and they've only seen 2 heals, and they've only seen 1 PG. So they probably would have checked the defensive for sure. And we're still not gonna lose this turn because if they have let's say we're holding on to like 2 defensives in hand. See, they're gonna use the Victor Plasma here. And because, yeah, we're going to be fine for next turn because they've got 3 cards in hand, which means one of their discards is probably going to be a defensive discard. And then they've got to hope not to get defensive. Ooh, that crit, though. That's going to hurt. Give the power to Victor Plasma. Bruh. All right. So PG gets triggered there. Using the skill. Okay, so they don't have to discard their defensive there. Whoops. Heal trigger, of course. And we just use a PG. Simple as that. Oh. We're actually gonna move this up. Battle, swing. See, this is like once you've run out of cards in the deck, you start running into like this problem here. I'll give the power here, just so that I can attack the Amatano Drake. Oh, that's not good. We were in such a good position. I mean, I've still got 4 defensives in hand though, so I can't complain too much. It's just that of the 13 cards left in my deck, I need to draw a Cool Hank this turn in order to be somewhat okay. Either a Cool Hank or a grade 3 or one of like the Stride Fodders so that I can actually do something. Yeah, see, they've got GB2, so their Vanguard isn't going to actually like, okay. So do they use the Cool Hank here? Ooh. Yeah, and then we'll Heal Guard that, and then we'll PG that. Oh, they're going straight for that. Dang, go straight for the throat. Why don't you? Jeez. So they heal, and I just saw PG go to the bottom of the deck. Oh, this is not good. I need a Stride Fodder or a grade 3 to the hand. This is not okay. Nope. Call. Claydol Mechanic. Not in a good spot at all. Not in a good spot at all here. They've proc all but 1 PG out of my deck. Okay. Okay. The crit probably isn't gonna. Yeah, I was saying the crit isn't gonna do it. Oh, I'm out of heals on the deck, so we can't heal. As long as they don't have 2 attackers, right? As long as they don't have 2 attackers. Oh, they call down the PG. No. Yep, we lost that one. So that showcases like after your like big turn, you run out of resources so fast. Oh, I hate that so much. So much. But welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Drawing. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. I wasn't just begging for it or anything. So to give an example, the main ride here is actually the Arashid. Your primary ride target is your Arashid. We actually have a really good hand here this time around. Again, do not put your grade 0 behind your Vanguard. Like, using the excuse of the Victoplasma is not good enough. It's also still good to also be playing the Battle Riser. Like, that's still a good idea. So you can put that behind your Vanguard because you'll attack with it first. So, all right, we're gonna follow anyways. Oh well, thank you. Boosting my confidence up. So we're gonna go ahead and stride here. I had to do that. Haven't done it once all stream, and we've been live for an hour and a half. Okay, just saying. But you should still just join the Discord, and we'll more than willing to help you out with any questions you have. So we're gonna call Cool Hank, Arashid. I have a Victor in hand, so I don't need to do that, and Golden Anglet. So battle, Golden Anglet. This is how this combo is really good. Cool Hank, counterblasting 1, standing up Golden Anglet. It becomes a 21k attacker. Fight friend 0. Not right now, Austin. Again, if we had hit 10 people who had done the Raid Shadow Legends thing before the stream, yes, we'd be doing friend fights all day today. But since we didn't, I need to do these videos because I could have just recorded these videos on my own. First check, nothing. Second check, also nothing. Third check, trigger, no trigger. That's fine. His skill is going to stand up Golden Anglet. That's 23k. It's only going to be 28. Just a little short just because of that trigger. But we're still at a 1 to 5 advantage. And when we stride, we'll draw an extra card. So it's actually not bad. I can give it a try to reach the level 10 in Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, there you go. And then you take a screenshot, send it in the Discord. You can also, you can enter as many times as you like. Let's say you've got 3 phones with 3 different emails. You can enter 1 time for each one. as long as you're new to the game, as long as you're a new player to the game and you reach level 10. And that's just, it's a free way. It takes 15-20 minutes and the game practically plays itself. So again, if you're interested, it's there. You don't have to do it. Nobody has to do it. I'm not forcing anyone to do it, but if you're interested, it does help out the stream a lot. But enough about that. Oh, we're also starting to upload to the YouTube channel more often, which is why we're recording these videos. Honestly, I don't know what this Kagura deck is doing. They're so far behind everything, just everything in general right now. If we can get any kind of draw triggers, that'd be nice. There we go. Interesting. Yes, very interesting. I find it very interesting. We're gonna actually, like, after we recorded all these, we're gonna be playing Raid Shadow Legends for, I don't know exactly, I haven't like figured out there's like a specific length of time I'm gonna be playing it for, but I'm gonna be playing it a little bit. We also have a clan. I finally got enough gems up to make a clan, or decide to play it, and let's say you do like it, or maybe you don't like it, it's up to you. You can join the clan and participate in that, and that's just another thing we can do. So this is why Claydol Mechanic is really good. My Hero Academia, cool. I want to play the gacha game for it. It's in like the circulation and stuff that I want to try out. Because I try to stick to only 2 or 3 games at a time. But this is where this becomes really good. Is I'm gonna call out this, the Claydol Mechanic, then the Break Pass, and use Victoplasma or Vic Plasma. So the reason that this is good is battle, swing here, swing with the aura sheet, and this is like one of the few situations where aura sheet is perfectly fine versus using like golden anglet. They're gonna swing here. We're gonna use the break pass. Gonna give it the 5,000 power, draw an extra card. That's fine. That way we have 2 discards. So we do hit the attack. We're gonna counterblast 1, and we're going to stand up the aura sheet. He's gonna gain his power. We're going to use this. Honestly, I'd rather just discard the heal guard at this point because I'm going to have to deal with 2 damage extra anyways. Then I'm going to swing with the aura sheet, knock the PG. Oh, okay. So they still have a PG in hand. So unfortunate as that is. Draw trigger. Let's go. Power there. Second check. No trigger. That's fine. So we knock 1 PG out of the hand. Is the stream laggy? I'm probably going to close this out. Yeah. We're going to put that out. Why is this opening and closing a lot? I don't know. Let me cancel that out in the task manager real quick, because draw that heal is good. No use drive checking anyways. True. I'm having to figure out why my computer is running super slow right now. Whereas I'll open you when I'm ready for you, but end task. That should fix that. That should fix part of the problem, because that was like opening and closing a lot. Also, what is like maxing out my CPU right now? BlueStacks is maxing out my CPU right now. BlueStacks and Chrome. It's fine. My CPU is just at a max right now. Probably because my cat's sitting on top of the PC heating it. So, okay, then they're gonna use this skill, retiring 2 of my rear guards. That's fine. They can retire my rear guards. I'm perfectly okay with that. See, we're at GB2 now, so I'm not even gonna bother with this. Also, with the hydrate, give me, oh, I have a power right here. So I'm not even gonna do this. What I'm gonna do here, call this. Use this skill, Yamato break. That's fine. Claydol Mechanic here, and then Golden Anglet. Battle, swing here. Swing with the Golden Anglet with support. So I know they don't have a Heal Guardian, and that's their second PG that they burn through. Victor, perfectly fine. They don't have Heal Guardian, so power there in case they do heal, and I do hit. They PG'd that attack. That's fine. This is actually fine because we're at 4 damage, 2 interceptors, and a PG in hand. All right, roof flare might be a problem. We're actually still really okay here, though. Yeah, this is the problem, is like, even if you do manage to outlast a lot, the deck falls behind kind of fast. They retire one entire column there. As I said, that's fine. They're going to swing here at my Vanguard, dealing me a damage, which is fine. Draw trigger? Nope. Cool Hank, no! First check, second check, third check. You getting another heal? Bruh. And we're going to use the PG and countercharge the damage. That's fine. All right, what do we draw into? Why don't we draw into a grade 3? That's garbage. Battle, swing here. First check, nothing. Second check, also nothing. Yeah. See, you fall off so quickly. That's why this deck has so many problems. Like, even if you try to push for damage, you fall off so quickly afterwards. I was so hyped for this deck too, and just my dreams for it got crushed. Absolutely crushed. Because any deck that can search out PGs is your natural born enemy at this point. Yep. I've already seen all 4 of our heals, right? Yep. Already seen all 4 of our heals. Yep. So that's Victor. I don't think I'm gonna get any better games in there. That's the way I play it. In this meta, it's just not a good deck to be playing. It's not good to be playing anything that's rearguard reliant in a way that it requires you to have rearguards that you have to supply from your hand. Royal Paladin, you can get away with it because they superior call from the deck and they add cards from the drop zone back to the deck with Alt Mile. So Royal Paladin gets away with being rearguard reliant because they can superficially increase them. But Victor does not get away with that same. It doesn't have that same luxury. Maybe later on in G we'll get some more support, and like when we get other decks that are rearguard centric that get around retiring, it might become a good deck again. Maybe you not play like Blouse. What? Maybe one day when the deck gets when other decks get support that are rearguard centric and retire strategies aren't still a valid thing to do, we'll see a increase in like the power level of this deck because it does multi-attack really well.